So we're recording. Welcome everybody back.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, everybody's here. Okay, I am super excited tonight because I just love this girl. I got a chance to really get to know her. Gosh, was it like 2 years ago now in Vegas at a leadership retreat? We got to hike the Red Rocks and do some yoga and play some Never Ever Have I Ever, and I think she had us beat. You remember that?
That's supposed to be top secret.
I didn't say what you said. So you guys all know her, I'm sure. You're on the Champions page. She pours into the leaders. She helps so many people in the company and off the company, and is an inspiring, motivational individual. So I am just going to, real quick, because I know I'm going to forget after, I just want to make sure you guys all know you need to register for the Success Club trip. Get on the wait list. Get on the list. It used to be that you were automatically, they've changed it. That was just one big announcement. Okay, now back to the amazing.
Wait. Where do we go to find that?
I put it on the team page. So when you get on the team page, you'll find it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Keichun, I am so excited to have you here. I can't wait to hear from you and get all the great motivational stuff from you always give. So everybody, if you could mute yourselves and let her take the.
Awesome. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that introduction. I'm so happy to be here. It's 7 o'clock my time. I know that a lot of you guys are in West Coast time. Y'all, I'm always like this. I'm not going to dull my shine. I'm pretty boisterous and I might shout a little bit. So you have to forgive me just a little bit or turn down the volume. I'm Keichun Graves. Like Christy mentioned, I am the Southeast Region Coach Business Development Mentor, and we recently reconnected via mastermind that Brittany Adamson was conducting she's the Coach Business Development Mentor in the West. Outside of what I do with Beachbody, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a philanthropist, and so I am like right here. I understand what you guys are going through. So what we're talking about tonight is a little bit of what I call Vaction Casting, and I'm going to tee this up just to let you guys know this is something that I personally, while it's something that I put together, it's something that I got from other tools and resources, because there are literally thousands of resources and tools and books on goal setting. So I went through, did research from my favorite, and I composed, I condensed, I made it more concise, a great way to cast your vision. But I also believe that a vision with no action is just a dream. And where there's no vision, there's no hope. So it all kind of goes together with this Vaction Casting. Secondly, as I'm teeing this up, this is something that I came up with in 2016, used myself for 2017, and had my best year ever holistically in 2017. So I wanted to test it myself before I began to disseminate it to you all and to other people. So I'm going to just share my screen really quick. Let's see if this works. Okay, can you guys see this if I blow it up? Can you guys still see it? Now let me ask you this. If I go to the next page, can you still see it? Perfect. Okay, sometimes it's technology. It's like love hate. It's like, wait, pause. It's still on the first slide. All right, so like I mentioned, Vaction Casting, not vacation, which I'm pretty jealous of Christy. It is vision plus action, because like I mentioned, I'm a proponent of vision boards. I do think and believe in the power of visualizing and seeing those pictures and seeing those words that you need to see and where you're trying to go. But without an action, it just stays on the board. So I'm a proponent of having this vision board, but on the other side, having the action necessary to reach the desires of your heart. So Vaction Casting, vision plus action. So what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to understand different types of goals as we pursue this idea of balance, which is a whole nother topic. I don't know if it necessarily exists, but we're going to talk about how you can pursue the idea of balance with different types of goals and setting different types of goals and having a vision for yourself that's more holistically than just your beach body. We're also going to determine your vision and your goals, and we're going to put it together in a written statement. And lastly, we're going to identify the actions necessary to reach your goals. Okay. So like I mentioned, this is a research that I put together, but I used other tools. I used other books. It's not just my brainchild. So some of the top books that I use, Think and Grow Rich, I think a lot of people get turned off by the title. Y'all, this is an amazing vision setting book. And if you have not read it, it's one of those books that I see often when I read articles and when I hear podcasts from people who have reached their desired success and are continuing to push for even more. This is one of the books that changed their life. And for me, it was pretty indispensable for my life and where I'm trying to go also. 12-week year. We'll talk a lot about setting short-term goals. The one thing, we're going to talk a lot about having fewer goals as opposed to so many, and then write it down. And I kind of rolled my eyes at first when someone suggested this book, but it was actually pretty good. Write it down, make it happen, knowing what you want and getting it, by Henriette Clauser. Let's see, we have somebody asking something in the chat. Will we have access to this site? Sure, Amber, I don't mind. Absolutely. I'll give you access. Christy has it. So we talked about the different types of goal setting. And I mentioned as we pursue this idea of balance. Well, while I don't think that balance exists per se, I know that there are other theories out there that do believe it, but I'm just talking about me. I can only talk about me. But as we are pursuing this idea of balance, I think that one way that we can get closer to being more balanced is by having goals in different areas of our life, by having a vision for different areas of our life. So personal, joy, work. Now, can these overlap? Absolutely. They should overlap. But specifically knowing what your personal goals are, specifically having a vision for your Beachbody business, having joy goals. That's how you pursue this idea of being more balanced. So personal goals. What are personal goals? These are like your health, your fitness, financial, helping people transform. That's one that can carry over to your Beachbody. Those are your habits and routines. So these are some of the surface, and I'll talk more about why they're surface and how we dig deeper later. But some of the surface personal goals could be, I want to be healthier. I want to wake up earlier. I want to pay off credit card debt. So then we talked about joy. Some joy things could be self-care, family. I want to spend more time with my family, spirituality, or meditating, your community and community service. I personally have a goal to do at least 2 community service activities every month. That's what brings me joy. Having fun. We all heard the Super Saturday video, if we didn't go to Super Saturday by now, and we heard that that's one of Carl's objectives too, for us to have more fun. Y'all, if you're not having fun, something's got to change. Something's got to change. And I think that that is the reason why we joined this community. I often say that we are ending trends, plural. We're ending the trend of obesity. We're ending the trend of living paycheck to paycheck, but we're also ending the trend of loneliness. Y'all, loneliness, like have fun. You joined this team for a reason. Don't think that you have to do it by yourself. Don't be by yourself. If someone's local, someone's an hour away, go meet up with them. Do it often. Maybe do Zoom if you are far away and you can't drive to someone, or maybe you don't drive if you're in the city. So maybe you do Zooms more. Have fun. Get out in the community and just have more fun. That's joy. Again, can it translate over to Beachbody? Absolutely. Can it translate over to your part? Absolutely. But be specific and have joy goals. So some surface level goals. I want to teach a live class. Maybe you're one that got certified 3 years ago at Summit for whatever it was, and you never ever used it. You've never ever taught it, but it's something in the back of your mind. Go teach that class. It is 2018. Or you want to spend more time with your family. That's the reason why a lot of people start this business, because they want to have more freedom. I've heard people leaving 6- and 7-figure jobs, corporate jobs, to come and do this because, yeah, they had all the finances in the world, but they were in this rat race and they could never spend time with their family. Or you want to start meditating or doing yoga. So those are some surface level joy goals. And then what I'm going to be talking about, because I'm from Beachbody Corporate and I'm the Coach Business Development Mentor. We're going to be talking about Beachbody tonight. But again, go back and do this exercise for your personal and your joy. But some Beachbody related goals is maybe it's starting to work your Beachbody business. Maybe you started your Beachbody business a couple years ago, but you really haven't gone all in. And you know, if you haven't gone all in, it's like that one little thing, like, I know I haven't really invited because I'm maybe scared to invite, or I know that I don't post vulnerably, or I know I don't have a sneak peek, or I don't join with the team sneak peek. Maybe it's time to start doing those little things that's holding you back from really working your Beachbody business, or earning or increasing your income, or advancing. Maybe you want to get to 2-star. Maybe you want to get to 5-star. Maybe you want to get to team leader and beyond. Or helping people get started with their personal Beachbody business. One of the greatest blessings I think we have is the ability to not only do this for ourselves, but to help other people do it too. We get to mentor people. We get to help people start a business. How amazing is that? So maybe those are some of your goals. Some of the surface level goals in regards to Beachbody could be, I want to help at least 3 people with the complete system, which is the fitness plus nutrition, Shakeology, plus you as the differentiator. Y'all, you are the most important part in that equation, for real. But that's a whole nother conversation. But helping at least 3 people every month with a complete system. So that does not mean that we're not going to help more people, or let's say someone comes to you and what they need doesn't warrant the complete system. That doesn't mean that we're going to just stop at 3 people. That means you continue to help people until you get at least 3 with a complete system. Okay, that's essentially Success Club. I want to help at least 2 people per month get started with their business. I know that Christy mentioned that you guys talked about Elite and Premier. Well, the really cool thing is bringing on about 2 coaches every month will get you what you need to earn those points for Elite, for Premier. So helping 2 people per month get started with their business. And I want to be a 2019 Elite or Premier coach. And oh my goodness, that FAQ is wrong. It's actually FAQ 1599. Disregard that. FAQ 1599. But those are some of the surface level Beachbody goals. So going into our actual exercise then. So how to determine your vision and goals. We're actually going to do this in 3 phases for our Vaction Casting exercise. The first phase is we're going to be crafting that written statement. Then the second phase is we're going to be determining the actions necessary. And then the third phase is letting go in order to move forward. So I really love the new year, because I think it's a great time for us to start new and start fresh. But I want you guys to remember and to know, and I'm sure you guys already know, that every day is a new beginning. And so as you do this Vaction Casting exercise and you actually start implementing it and you actually start doing it and then life starts happening and you get off course, it's okay. Course correct, because every day is an opportunity to start new and to start fresh. So today on January 9th, 2018, welcome to your new beginning. So what is it that you want? What is it that you want? And again, as you're thinking about this, yes, think 2018, but then reverse engineer that. Reverse engineer that backwards. What is it that you want for 2018? But what does that look like quarterly? So every 3 months. What does that look like monthly based on that quarterly? So we want to set the vision for 2018, but we want to set the goals every 3 months or every month. So what is it that you want? And what do you want to do with it? That's essentially your why. Why does that matter? What do you want to do with it? What does that mean to you? And when do you want to do it by? Have a date. And again, the research really showed that giving yourself a smaller opportunity to reach these goals will grant you a higher likelihood of achieving those goals. Meaning, yes, we have the 2018 goals, but us breaking them down quarterly and even monthly, one, if we give ourselves all of 2018 to reach a goal, guess how long it's going to take to reach it? All of 2018. And 2, as we're reaching these amazing, audacious goals, which I'm sure you guys have, we have got to give ourselves small wins along the way, because 1, it makes the journey that much better. When we're just chasing after December 31st of 2018, man, it's like, I haven't achieved anything. And even though you have, it's like I haven't achieved anything, because you're not giving yourself opportunity to recognize those small wins. So those are some reasons why you do want to have shorter time frame to reach and achieve goals. So when do you want to do it by? But this is still you. And this is by when you want to do it. It's not based on Chrissy. It's not based on any This is based on you and when you need to do it. Based on what it is that you want and what you want to do with it. So when we put those 3 together, that then becomes your written statement. And I would encourage you guys to print it out. I would encourage you guys to put it in a picture frame and put it in your bathroom, read it every day. I have mine on my phone, on my screensaver. But this is your written statement. I think that oftentimes people think that it needs to be some Shakespearean, beautiful. No. It is those 3 questions put together in a statement. And then find a success partner. Find someone to hold you accountable. That oftentimes is the missing link. When I hear leaders that I work with who have gone to these masterminds, and I'm like, well, what's the difference? And they're like, they hold us accountable. Like, they really hold us accountable. They hold our feet to the fire. When I say I'm going to do X, Y, Z, he's like, okay, go do X, Y, Z. I have a coach that I was just talking to today, and one of her goals was to write a book. And she was working with this accountability person, and she was at some seminar that she paid almost $5,000 to attend, but she had this chapter that she told the person that she was going to have done. And the person said, I don't care where you're at. Write your book in line. Like, write what you said you were going to do in line. Anyway, get somebody who's going to hold you accountable. Should it be somebody in Beachbody? It could be. It doesn't have to be. All it matters is that they know where you're trying to go, that they will lovingly nudge you. I think that lovingly part is important, because you want to make sure that, you don't want to feel bad. You don't want anyone to make you feel bad. You don't want people to talk condescendingly to you. So you want to have this mutual understanding. But this person should lovingly nudge you and hold you to what you said you want to achieve, and who you said you want to become, and the legacy you said you want to leave to your family and to your friends and to your coaches, to your customers. That's the type of success partner that we should have. I think that it's amazing to have someone within Beachbody, because they do understand what's going on, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So that's the first phase, identifying your goals and crafting your written statement. Any questions so far? You can put them in the chat if you do have questions. So then this next phase, determining the actions, we're going to begin to dig deeper with your goals. I mentioned at the beginning those types of goals, the personal, the joy, the beach body. And then I said, these are some surface level goals. So this is the part where we're going to dig deeper into those surface goals. So digging deeper, don't be surface. Example, surface goal. I want to advance my Beachbody business. Okay, what does that mean? What does that look like to you? Because what that looks like to you, Raina, could look different to Heather. I don't know if there's a Heather because my mouse is not working. Sorry. But it can look different to everyone. So does that mean financially? Does that mean rank? What does that mean at Venture Beachbody business? Does that mean in leader? What does that mean to you? What does that look like to you? And then once we figure out what that looks like, what that means, then we're going to attach the smaller goals to those. We're going to begin to break that down and then break it down even further. Does that make sense? And digging deeper. So don't just be surface. Those goals that I gave at the beginning are very, very surface. I want to be healthier. Okay. What does that mean? Does that mean like starting to eat better? Does that mean not eating processed food? Does that mean just brushing your teeth and going to see the dentist? Like, what does that mean? All right. I won't beat that head horse. So digging deeper with your goals and then breaking it down and figuring out the smaller actions, the smaller steps necessary along the way. And then I always say that while we should treat every quarter like fourth quarter, and that's why I love the whole idea of the 12-week year, we should treat every quarter like fourth quarter. But December is really like fourth quarter. And so I always call that last quarter of the year like grind season, hustle season. So that's not necessarily the time to go out and learn and start a new training. That's the time to go implement what you already know, be willing to fail forward, and then write it down so that in January you can begin to pursue some of that knowledge that you felt like you needed, that you feel like you want in order to make you more confident as a coach. Okay, so what do you need to know in order to reach your goals? Is it training? Is it Instagram? Is it the elite program? Is it volume and placement strategies? Is it public speaking? What is it that you need to know to reach your desires? What do you need? And who do you need? Maybe you're going 2-star. Okay, have you done your memory jogger? Have you begun to craft your content? When's the last time you updated some of your lists that you have? Are you reaching out to people? Are you reaching out to customers that you still have from 3 years ago, but you haven't connected with? And they're still a customer, but you just haven't connected with. Who do you need? What do you need? And what do you need to know in order to reach your desires? And then this is a gut check question. How much time are you willing to give to what you need? And this is for you. And this is your own personal gut check. I mean, you can get with your success partner, you can get with your upline, you can get with your coach, business development mentor, which everyone has one. And we start working one-on-one and in masterminds at the diamond level, but everyone has access to a coach, business development mentor. That's one of the resources that Carl has made available to you as a Beachbody coach. So get with someone to really say, okay, this is what I want. These are my desires. And this is what I know I need to do. And this is the time I have. Is it realistic? If you're not quite sure if it is. So most times you can look at it and say, okay, 6 figures is my goal, and I'm only able to do this 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Chances are that's not really realistic. I'm just going to be real. So how much time? And your actions do need to match your goals. And if your actions don't match your goals, then something's going to have to give, and hopefully it is your action. Now, with that being said, a lot of us are doing this part-time, and that is amazing. You can absolutely reach your goals and reach amazingly audacious goals as a part-time coach and doing this part-time and doing this in pockets, but you do need to be more dialed in with the time that you do have. And we'll talk about being more dialed in just a second. But you will have to be more dialed in with the time that you do have and putting your to-do list, and putting your to-do list together and putting the business producing activities that have the greatest return on your time investment at the top and not skipping around, which does take discipline. But if you want something that's above mediocre, you're going to have a little bit of that discipline, a little bit of that discomfort in order to be the person that you're meant to be, period. If you thought it, if it's a seed planted in you, it was meant for you. And so you go chase it, go pursue it, be relentless with it. But know that one, you can do this part-time. 2, you're not doing this alone. So don't feel like, okay, I'm a coach, I'm a leader, like I'm a diamond now and I'm a leader. So now I have to redevelop all my trainings and I have to host my own sneak peeks and I have to do my own challenge group. No. That is why you're on this amazing team. So if you feel like you need to do it together, you need to reevaluate, because that will maximize your success potential by doing it together. You don't have to do this alone. You should not do this alone. And that's also what makes it more fun. So craft that initial to-do list. And I say initial because it doesn't have to be your to-do list forever. It doesn't have to be your to-do list even for the full week or the month or the quarter, whatever. It does not have to be your forever to-do list. But one of the reasons why people do not reach their goals is because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to start. And the cool thing is that there's a plethora of resources. I'm almost certain Christy even has resources for you on what to do based on where you're trying to go. So get with her if you don't have it, if you don't know what to do. But if you're doing this part-time especially, and everyone should, but if you're doing this part-time especially, list those in order of what needs to be done first and don't skip around. Do it. I know for me, personal story, as an entrepreneur, all of a sudden I get to that one task that is either scary or I just don't want to. I don't know. I have a whole bunch of excuses as to why it doesn't get done. And then all of a sudden my desk is clean and like the refrigerator is all sorted. And I'm like sleepy all of a sudden when I had so much energy like 20 minutes ago. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. But do it in order. And that's when your success partner comes in handy. You're like, hey, okay, I got to this task and I'm not going to lie, I'm not feeling it, but I know I need to do it. I know that I'm meant to be this person I desire. If I don't do it in the next hour, I owe you $100. That's the kind of skin in the game I'm talking about. Because guess what? I'm not giving nobody $100. I don't care if it was $1. But that's the kind of skin in the game. Another reason why we want to craft this to-do list and is because, well, I guess I won't say that. But one thing you do want to be mindful of with your to-do list is not overwhelming yourself with so much on the to-do list. That's one reason why people actually fall short of their goals, because it's like, well, here's my to-do list. Oh my gosh, it's a whole entire page long. Like, I'm sleepy. My office is clean. So don't overwhelm yourself with your to-do list either. So be mindful of that. Okay, so that was phase 2. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Then the third phase, and I will say this, the first two phases, I believe in sharing out loud and sharing publicly. And don't be scared. I think that sometimes people are scared because they're like, work in silence and, don't tell people the moves that you're making. And people are going to hold you accountable. And it's kind of scary. I mean, we are human brands. I don't believe in a such thing as fearless. I believe that people use their fear differently. They use it as a tailwind as opposed to a headwind, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That just means they get over themselves. They do the actions necessary despite the fear. So I don't necessarily think that fearlessness exists, but I do think that we should share our goals publicly, at least in pods, at least in groups. But this particular phase, I think is a little bit more personal. I think that when you do get the guts to share it, I think that you've just opened up an entire new page in your book, honestly. But if you don't feel comfortable, don't feel less than, don't feel like what, you don't have to share this phase, okay? This is the letting go in order to move forward. List 2 disappointments from 2017 and how they've helped to define you. 2 only. 2. 1, 2, not more than 2. Because as A-types, as entrepreneurs, we can go on and on and on and on about the disappointments. That's not what this exercise is about. It's to list 2 only. And most importantly, how they've helped to define you. And then list 2 of your greatest achievements. Now for this one, you can list as many as you want. Go for it. List them out. Share them. Shout them out loud. 2 dominating thoughts. So oftentimes we hear about these external objections, time, money, resources, whatever it is. What are you telling yourself? Because if someone has done it before you, then why not you? If the seed has been planted, then it's meant for you. If you feel like you want this, then why not you? So what are you telling yourself? What are those dominating thoughts or those limiting beliefs that you're telling yourself that's holding you back? You've been doing this now for 2 years. What's up? Are you ready? Because you're worthy. You're deserving. You can do this. You're not alone. We got you. And what are the actions necessary to let them go? Sometimes I'm the type of person who I'll try to think about like, why did that hold me back? Why was I scared of that? And then I'll spend like 2 whole weeks trying to figure it out. And guess what happened? Nothing got done. I'm still having the same limiting beliefs while I'm trying to figure out why it's limiting me. So I've learned for myself, and this is something that you'll have to learn for yourself, that I just need to act. Who cares? If I'm scared, like call my friend, I owe you $100. Okay, I'm doing it. So what are the actions necessary? And then lastly, if success leaves clues and the most successful people in the world, not just in Beachbody, say that affirmations work for them, then why not affirm yourself on the other end of those limiting beliefs or those dominating thoughts? Affirm yourself. If you feel like I'm not a leader, tell yourself, I am a leader and I'm equipped to lead people to their goals in life. Maybe you feel like I've been doing this for 2 years and I'm not where I want to be. I've been doing this for 2 years and the knowledge that I've gained over 2 years, the growth that I've personally embarked upon is going to help me help so many other people. Who cares about what you're telling yourself? Affirm yourself on the other end. And if you don't do affirmations, I'm not saying list out 10 or 20 or whatever. I'm just saying do 2. Okay, so I have a huge favor. I'm doing 3-day refresh and I don't want to rush through this, but I've got to go use the restroom. Is this weird? Is this weird? I just have got to go.
Not at all, girl. You go and I'll hold the fort down.
Thank you, Chris.
By the way, we've been doing that a lot today too. So yeah, we are on day 2 of our 3-day refresh and just so much liquid, Does anyone have any questions so far or anything to say? You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Hey, Christy, for our Super Saturday, it's great to get this from her because here they did casting vision. And that's what we did when I was talking to you. That's what we were doing. So I've got kind of a foundation, and she is kind of confirming some things that we learned last Saturday. So awesome.
Now you can put those on your board that you're going to make, so you can visually see it. I've got mine partially done.
That's one thing I've never done. So if anybody's in this area and wants to get together to do a vision board, I've never done one. Christy has promised, I don't know how many times, and we've gotten so busy we've never done it. So I need to do one.
Yeah, she's laying the groundwork here. When she did the personal joy and work, I actually hosted my first vision board party on Sunday, and I have 3 more this month. And that's what I had people do, was focus on what's personal, what their joy was, and what their work was, and what their goals were. So it helps, and getting deeper than I just want to advance or I want to raise. It's like, what does that mean? Like for me, being top coach, it means I need to help at least 250 people this year, brand new, not the people that I'm already helping. So then that breaks down to how many per month, right? And so for me, I've broken it down to at least 20 per month. Because I know what my December looks like already. December, like a quarter of my business happens in December. So, yeah.
Oh, she's back.
There she is. Hey. Okay, so let's remute ourselves so she can get going again.
Okay. Sorry, that was a little bit of a lull. So let's bring it back. So those were the first 3 phases. So as we finish this Vaction casting exercise, I do have a few last minute thoughts for you. As you're going through it, make sure, again, to keep goals short term and limited to a few. Oftentimes people have like 10, 15 goals, and it really does not have to be that many. 3, 4, that's a great amount of goals to have. What kind of impact will you make this year? What will you and your team celebrate? What will you guys celebrate? It kind of brings a smile to me just thinking about what you guys celebrate. Why will this year be different? And what is the story that you're going to tell your family about 2018 in the future, as you're leaving a legacy? And the legacy is so much more than a monetary legacy. It's a legacy of no longer being a habitual quitter. It's a legacy of entrepreneurship. It's a legacy of discipline. It's a legacy of health and wellness and love. What will you tell your family about 2018 in the future? And so this is just a 1-pager of everything that we just talked about. The first phase was identifying your goals. The second phase is the action necessary to reach it. And then the third phase is letting go in order to move forward. And I'm a hiker, and that third phase is just so important. And one of my favorite seasons to go hiking in is the fall. And I live here in Utah, so we have 4 seasons. We get to see the leaves change colors, and it's gorgeous. And one of my favorite things to just kind of reflect on is how the trees lose their leaves. They shed their leaves in order to prepare for winter, in order to prepare for the next season. So what are you holding on to that's keeping you from going to your next season? It's very important to let go in order for us to move forward. If you've been holding on for something for 2 years, it's time. For 2 days, it's time to let it go. That's how we truly move forward in the direction that you're meant to move towards. And then I just love this quote so much, and I know you guys have seen it before. I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I didn't give up. And maybe that's you. Maybe you are looking at yourself in the mirror. You are looking at yourself and saying, because of you, I didn't give up. Maybe you're looking at your before, which it does not matter where you start, because some people's before or some people's after. So that's not what I'm talking about. But maybe you're looking at your personal before and where you didn't want to be anymore. And you say, because of you, I didn't give up. But maybe it's your kid looking at you. Maybe it's your challenger. Maybe it's your coach. Because of you, I didn't give up. And so I'm going to stop this screen share really quick and share this.
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Here's the deal. I can do anything, be anything, create anything, dream anything, become anything. My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. Well, you grown-ups say you love us, but I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words. If you believe in yourself, you will know how to ride a bike. If you don't, you just keep practicing. I like my pajamas. I like the stars. I like my room. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything. I just want everything to be good as possible. Nothing else. You better not give up on us. No, you better not. Because, as you know, in some cases, you're all we've got. And if I can be nice, I think all of us can be nice too. This is your time. Now go up there and take it.
It's about the legacy, y'all. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I did not give up. We're ending trends, and that's the power that you have, and the superpower that you have is you. There's no one youer than you. So that's Vaction Casting. That's what I have for you guys tonight. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions?
You were amazing, and I loved that. I loved how you ended that. That's awesome. I'm totally going to go look on YouTube and find that video.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, awesome. Any questions, guys? Unmute if you have a question. Here, let me take it out of the gallery view. Anybody have anything to add?
I have a question about the statement that you said that we needed to do. So you say combine all three into one statement?
Yes. So one or two sentences, essentially, based on what it is that you want, what do you want to do with it, and when do you want to do it by. Okay. So I want to, let's talk about Beachbody. I want to be a diamond. I want to be a 2-star diamond coach so that I can qualify for the 2-star diamond bonus. That way I can completely pay for spring break for my kids by March 31st.
Anybody else? Because I definitely don't want to keep her later than she needs to be because she's already working late, girl. I can honestly too. Since a huge chunk of my team, they all have different time. They all work at different times, so I do record. I don't ever like say I'm not recording my meetings. You have to be there because I have people who work the night shift. So I'm sure will it be okay if I send you questions if they send them to me?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and you guys can send them directly to me too. Like there doesn't have to be a gatekeeper. I'm Keichun Graves, the only one on Facebook if you spell my name right, and I'm here for you. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. So
you guys can all directly message her. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared, please.
Yeah, so I want to get a team picture though before everybody leaves. So everybody put on your smiles. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your energy. And I think that was a perfect way to have a team call at the beginning of the month. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Mwah. Happy 2018. Can't wait to see you guys crushing it.
We will. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.